Get excited, seniors. Your commencement speaker has finally been chosen. Good evening, I'm Orion Goodman.
And I'm Monica Percante. Thanks for tuning in to WakeTV. If Gwen Eiffel is not a familiar name to you, you will surely be hearing it on campus more often as commencement approaches. Eiffel will be speaking at commencement. On her selection, President Nathan O. Hatch has said that her record of achievement as a journalist and author, a significant career on reporting on current events, both national and international, and a commitment to straightforward dialogue means so much to the Wake Forest community. Eiffel has been the chief congressional and political correspondent for NBC News, White House correspondent for the New York Times, and a local and national political reporter for the Washington Post. In her career, she has covered 6 presidential campaigns and moderated 2 vice presidential debates. In 2004, between Republican Vice President Dick Cheney and former Democratic Senator John Edwards, and in the 2008 election between Democratic Senator Joe Biden and Republican Governor Sarah Palin. Her expertise and experience are sure to make for an enlightening speech. The commencement ceremony will take place on Hearn Plaza on Monday, May 20th at 9 a.m.
Do you like fish? What about sharks? During the past few weeks, there have been numerous shark sightings off the coast of Florida, resulting in closed beaches all over Florida's east coast. According to officials, the end of winter signals a migratory period for the sharks, which, as it happens, occasionally coincides with many institutions' spring breaks. At least that's how it played out this year. Despite this, there's no reason to fear, since many of these sharks are relatively harmless. Over the past few weeks, shark sightings primarily consisted of blackfins and spinners, 2 relatively harmless species. Lifeguards and beaches still want to take precautions, though, since lots of splashing around in the water can confuse the sharks into thinking casual swimmers are, in fact, distressed prey. Beaches are expected to close intermittently until the end of the month, when the sharks will no longer be in Florida waters, but Georgia and North Carolinian waters instead.
While we were enjoying the last few days of spring break, 2 men made a break from Guilford County Jail in the nearby High Point area. According to the Winston-Salem Journal, Jose Alberto Hernandez and Jose Idel Cid escaped from the jail at about 4:40 p.m. Saturday. Hernandez was in jail concerning child sex offense charges, while Cid was being held on an immigration detainer and an indecent liberties charge. The men escaped the jail by breaking a window, climbing down a ledge, and dropping to the ground. Guilford County Sheriff B.J. Barnes has said that human error allowed the 2 men to escape. While he mentioned jail construction was partly to blame, he also added that policies and procedures were not followed. Currently, a $5,000 reward is being offered for information leading to the arrest of the 2 men. Now, let's turn it over to Melanie Worley and Isabel Hill to hear what's going on with health at Wake Forest. Ladies.
Recently, the Winston-Salem community hosted the Color Run, an organization that plans colorful runs across the country to benefit the Big Brothers Big Sisters charity. The event is a super fun, crazy, colorful 5K that all participants truly enjoy. The race is more about the experience rather than the results. Sounds like a fun way to exercise.
The Color Run has 3 rules, and they are as follows. 1, all participants are welcome. Fast, slow, runner, walker, old or young. 2, white shirt dress code at the official start line and ready to roll at 10 a.m. 3, completely colored Willy Wonka goodness at the finish. This year, many Wake students joined together in teams of 4 and participated in this wonderful event. The Color Run is among the many marathon and 5K events that the Winston-Salem community hosts. Be sure to check out the pictures posted on the Color Run's website from the event. Talk about a unique way to stay fit. Back to you, Monica and Orion.
You know why I really wish I could have participated in Color Run?
Why?
For the really cool t-shirts that they get after the end.
You know, that's a really good reason. Wake Forest's 8th annual Wake and Shake Dance Marathon had its greatest turnout yet, according to the media advisory. If you don't already know, Wake and Shake is a student-run philanthropy event geared towards raising money for the Brian Piccolo Cancer Research Fund. The Brian Piccolo Cancer Research Fund, the beneficiary of the event, was started in 1980 in memory of Brian Piccolo, an All-American Wake Forest football player who succumbed to cancer at age 26. During the event, which took place on Saturday, March 23rd, over 1,000 student and professional dancers danced from noon until midnight, with the goal of raising $130,000. Additionally, 6 guest speakers were present to recount their battles with cancer. According to junior Lucas Swenson, this will be our 3rd year hearing from them. It reminds us of what we are all there for. I couldn't have said it better myself.
With campus safety becoming an increasingly important issue on Wake Forest's campus, a recent tragedy at the University of Central Florida may indicate that Wake Forest students should become as concerned with internal threats as external threats. 30-year-old University of Central Florida student James Oliver Sivakumaran was found dead in his dorm room on campus. Making the story even more disturbing are the weapons and backpack full of bombs recovered from the student's room. Sivakumaran is believed to have killed himself before perpetrating what authorities believed would have been a planned attack on the campus. Sivakumaran is believed to have pulled a fire alarm in his dorm in order to cause students to congregate outside the building where he could then attack. After the fire alarm went off, the student pulled a gun out on his roommate, who managed to escape and call 911. When officers arrived, they found Sivakumaran's body. Though students have reported Sivakumaran to be angry and somewhat isolated, he had never before been seen by a UCF counselor and had not had any student conduct issues. Authorities are now investigating who and why he planned to attack.
2 brains are better than 1, and as for 3 brains, well, the more the merrier. At least that seems to be what worked for the HELP PD group's problem-solving study. HELP, or Healthy Living Partnerships to Prevent Diabetes, is a study performed by a multidisciplinary team of Wake Forest researchers headed by Mara Vitolans of the medical school. The study, meant to observe the results of group problem-solving on fasting blood glucose levels, insulin levels, and adiposity over the course of 2 years, found that not only could diabetic patients get results for their treatments, but they could also do so for less money than most other available treatments. According to the author of the study, most behavioral weight loss programs rely on informational instruction, such as exercising and reading food labels. The HELP PD study focused less on didactic learning and more on a problem-solving empowerment model. Participants talked about what things were getting in the way of losing weight when they worked as a group to determine ways to overcome the barriers. The results of the program demonstrate its effectiveness. On average, participants lost 13 pounds and successfully kept the weight off for the duration of the program. Not only that, but the treatment only cost about $800 per person, whereas in a previous benchmark experiment, costs were 3 times that. The research team is currently testing its findings in 5 North Carolina counties to determine whether or not it would actually be a feasible program to implement. With luck, we may be on the road to curbing diabetes.
The week of April 1st to April 5th will be an active time on campus for film lovers. The 6th annual Ronaldo Film Festival will be returning for what appears to be another successful year. The festival is a student-run event where independent films are showcased to Winston-Salem locals and students alike. By showing independent films, the festival staff hopes to encourage students to pursue an interest in filmmaking and film appreciation. Each day will consist of different film screenings, followed by speakers who are well-established professionals in the film industry. The festival lasts all week and is free, so if you're on campus, be sure to see some raw talent and entertainment.
Wondering what Greek life here at Wake is going on? Kristen Rogers is here with your Greek This Week report to keep you up to date. Kristen?
Thanks, guys. I'm Kristen Rogers with your Greek This Week. Long days filled with classes, meetings, and homework often take a toll on the student body. Any distraction from the daily mundane is welcomed. On Wednesday, March 20th, the first day of spring, Theta Chi Fraternity hosted Puppies on the Quad. For a small fee, students had the chance to rent a puppy. Not only did the event raise money for the Humane Society, it also brought the Wake Forest students a much-needed break from the usual. And one of the biggest Greek events of the year will be held on Saturday, March 30th, Carolina Cup. Held in Camden, South Carolina, the horse race draws thousands of Greek students from all across the Southeast. Pastel dresses, seersucker suits, and floppy hats can be seen everywhere. The event attracts Wake Forest's Greek life every year. Most fraternities and even some sororities rent a charter bus to drive to the event, which ends up being a long tailgate all day. Most college students claim to never even see a horse at the Cup, but the event in itself is a Wake Forest bucket list item for sure. Carolina Cup is the epitome of the Southern Greek life. It's something you don't want to miss out on. And that's it for Greek This Week.
Thanks, Kristen. Though Wake Forest professor Sarah Mason may specialize in mathematics, it is far from all she is known for. Taking another interest in environmental sustainability, Ms. Mason also teaches a first-year seminar entitled Counting on Sustainable Energy. Does it all add up? She is offering this course with the hope that students will be able to learn how to think more about alternative energy sources like solar, wind, and hydropower. In fact, Ms. Mason says that one of the biggest things that I want my students to get out of this class is getting more comfortable taking claims and evaluating them for themselves. If someone says something is better for the environment, I want my students to be able to go home and verify that claim. In addition to learning to think critically, her students will try to figure out if Wake Forest has the potential to run on alternative fuel with the amount of energy that it uses currently. Whether her class makes a breakthrough in this area or not, Ms. Mason deserves applause for her valiant efforts to make this college a more knowledgeable and environmentally friendly place.
Easter weekend not only gives Wake students a chance to visit their families, it also gives a lot of students the chance to attend their first horse race. The weekend of March 30th will be the 81st Annual Carolina Cup. Hosted in Camden, South Carolina, the Carolina Cup has become a popular spring event for students who are restless for summer. Clad in sundresses and bow ties, most students describe the Carolina Cup as a giant tailgate where students from schools in both North and South Carolina can have fun together. Despite the excitement surrounding the race, illegal alcohol consumption spoils the fun for some students. So remember, enjoy yourself, but be safe. Each week, Megan Lavelle and Will Shaker keep us up to date with what's going on with sports, both at Wake Forest and at the national level. What's going on this week?
Get those brackets ready, Deacons. March Madness is upon us. The NCAA basketball tournament kicked off last week with Selection Sunday, where 68 teams were chosen to compete for the championship game, which will take place in April. Louisville earned the top overall seed, with Indiana, Kansas, and Gonzaga also snagging top seeds in their respective regions. Unfortunately, the Deacs did not make the cut this year, but hopefully you can still find a team to root for. Get together with some friends and cheer them on.
Wake Forest basketball player Chelsea Douglas was recently named to the ACC All-Tournament second team for her second consecutive season. The junior point guard put up impressive performances in both of the Deacons' games in the ACC tournament this season. Douglas had 15 points and 5 assists in the game against Georgia in the first round. She also put up a career high of 31 points in the second round overtime game against second-seeded Maryland. Great job, Chelsea.
The Wake Forest baseball team was unable to hold on to their lead against Coastal Carolina last Tuesday night. The Deacs took a 6-4 lead in the 7th inning, but 3 late runs by the Chanticleers ultimately gave them the 7-6 win. Redshirt sophomore Kevin Jordan led the team, going 3-3 and earning 2 runs. The Deacs were not without opportunities, though. The team left 14 runners on base over the course of the game. The team is now 1 game above 500 with a 12-11 record.
Men's basketball head coach Jeff Bzdelik was roasted on BleacherReport.com for his less than impressive record with the Deacons. The article highlights Bzdelik's 34-60 record compared to former coach Dino Gaudino's 61-31 record. In addition, Bzdelik has only won 1 ACC road game, resulting in websites like FireBZ.com, which has raised over $2,500 to get him fired, and making the Deacons a national joke. To make matters worse, a poll was released with the Bleacher Report article, and 95.8% of 400 voters say Bzdelik should be fired immediately. Pack your bags, Jeff. You suck.
And on that note, the Wake Forest men's basketball season has officially come to an end. After a disappointing 75-62 loss to Maryland in the first round of the 2013 ACC tournament, the Deacs have hung up their jerseys until next year. Our Deacs did not go down without a fight, though. Senior C.J. Harris carried the team, posting 19 points in his final game, with great support from junior Travis Mackay and freshman Devin Thomas. Harris and Mackay were both named All-ACC, and Thomas was honored as one of 5 rookies in the league to be named to the All-Freshman team.
The Wake Forest Open had some exciting results on March 16th. 2 freshmen, Jesse Merkel and Katie Adair, made it to the Wake Forest history books in the javelin throw and pole vaulting. Merkel, from Pennsylvania, broke the javelin throw record by 5 meters with a 50.3-meter toss. A transfer from Oklahoma, Adair vaulted 1 foot higher than her opponents at 3.95 meters. The track team will meet again Saturday, March 23rd at High Point.
The Wake Forest football team began its 5 weeks of spring practice last Tuesday. The Deacs are gearing up for the annual spring game, which will be held on April 20th at BB&T Field. These practices will be the first for the team since head coach Jim Grobe announced a new member of the coaching staff. Taylor Stubblefield of the University of New Mexico will be the new wide receiver coach for the Deacs. Stubblefield will be mentoring a strong group of players, including senior slapback Michael Campanaro and redshirted freshman Sherman Ragland.
Well, that's all we have for you this week. Back to you, Orion and Montclair.
Thanks, guys! Being a school that proudly boasts the motto of Pro Humanitate, Wake Forest's excellent record in the area of community service should be of no surprise. Because of its ability to get staff, students, and faculty to do projects that benefit the community, Wake Forest University was selected for the 2013 President's Higher Education Service Honor Roll. This distinction is awarded based on the school's emphasis on helping the community both inside and outside of the classroom. Wake Forest now joins 27 other North Carolina schools in receiving this honor. The schools admitted to this list were announced by the Corporation for National and Community Service. Many factors were considered in the selection process, such as how large and innovative the project was, how much the school's curriculum emphasizes service, and how much of a difference the acts of service has made for the community.
It always seems like there's a new member of the Deacon Demon family to be proud of. Recently, Wake Forest's very own Melissa Rogers was offered the position of Director of the White House Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships. Instructor at the Divinity School, Ms. Rogers is no stranger to taking a leadership role. Since 2004, she's headed the Center for Religion and Public Affairs at the Divinity School, which specializes in working to promote the study, dialogue, and research of the relationship between both public affairs and religion. On March 15th, Ms. Rogers commented on her appointment, saying that she's honored to be appointed as the director of the White House Office of Faith-Based and Neighborhood Partnerships. It's a privilege to serve to President Obama and my fellow Americans by forging and promoting a wide range of effective partnerships to help people in need. We here at Wake Forest would like to congratulate Ms. Rogers on her new position and wish her the best of luck for the future.
Well, that's all for Wake TV News this week. I'm Orion Goodman.
And I'm Anka Percante. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in next week.